expecting some further heavy rain across North Queensland over the next 48 hours. And it's been raining heavily over the past week. We'll get to the forecast total shortly. That rain cleared just in time for some New Year's Eve celebrations around Port Douglas. Not too many clouds there in the sky. People enjoying the view from the beach. But over the past week, we have seen a drenching, of course, in this area. And we still have some flooding around. And there was moderate flooding continuing overnight along the Daintree River. Here are the totals over the past week. The Black shows over 400 millimetres of rain. Cooktown's actually picked up over 600 millimetres of rain over the past week. So we've got localised flooding in this area. Also some heavy rain across the northern tip of Cape York Peninsula, and that heavy rain continued overnight near a developing monsoon low in this area. Here are the totals now over the past month. So for December, heavy falls up and down the eastern seaboard, a huge improvement compared to what we saw earlier in spring. Sydney, for example, 95 millimetres of rain altogether in the month of December, but hundreds of millimetres, in fact over 800 millimetres of black there along the north tropical coast. And there was a handful of towns that picked up over 1,000 millimetres of rain, including Ingham and Cardwell in the month of December. It was the wettest December on record for parts of the North Queensland coast. But once you move inland from the ranges, much lighter falls. Some areas picked up less than a millimetre of rain in the month of December. We have a developing monsoon low, probably a cyclone at some point over the next couple of days, moving across Cape York Peninsula. You can see, though, moving east away from the coast by Thursday, so the rain will ease off after the next couple of days. We'll see afternoon showers and storms along the New South Wales ranges for the next few days, but otherwise no significant rain through central or southern Australia. Although the usual wet season storms for the Kimberley and the top end you can see continuing into the weekend. Now, there is a high amount of model uncertainty regarding the future track of our tropical low or monsoon low. It could stay out into the Coral Sea, or it could move back towards the Queensland coast over the weekend. Looks like some more storms for southeastern Australia also later in the forecast period. Here are the forecast totals then. We're expecting on New Year's Day some storms through eastern New South Wales. Now, if you get a storm, you could see 20 or 30 millimetres of rain, which is exactly what we saw last night. Singleton, for example, picking up roughly 30 millimetres, and parts of Sydney well over 10 millimetres. Heavy falls over northern Queensland, 100 millimetres plus for Tuesday and Wednesday around that far northeast coast, but that rain eases by Thursday. Still storms over eastern New South Wales. Again on Friday, we're expecting lighter falls for northern Queensland. Perhaps over the weekend the rain will increase near the central part of the coast. There is a huge question mark, though, over this rain falling over the weekend. It's probably not that likely, but it's possible. Here are the totals then over the next 8 days. Most of the country, less than 10 millimetres of rain, the exception being the New South Wales coast and ranges. That's from storms, so a little bit hit and miss with the totals. Some heavy falls, perhaps over central Queensland, but it's more likely over northern Queensland near our developing monsoon low. Well, everybody loves fireworks. Dogs don't like them so much, but they can lead to bushfires. Swan Hill, a minor fire was burning last night. That's on Goat Island, and apparently that was due to the fireworks. So, yeah, sometimes there's a bit of trouble, but no homes have been lost as a result of that fire. Now, having a look at the threat over the next few days, well, we do have a heat wave, so fire dangers will be elevated, and we haven't seen much rain over the past week across the country, so the vegetation is exceptionally dry, apart from across the far northern tropics. Today, temperatures again up to 10 above average through the interior, through northwest New South Wales. This darker red shows maximums over 40 degrees. The good news, those isobars are spaced apart, so it's not too windy, which is why the fire dangers are very high in some parts. That's the yellow shading, but there's no fire weather warnings for the eastern half of Australia. There's no severe fire danger. In Western Australia, different story. Not only is it very hot with maximums in the mid-40s, the humidity is very low, which is why we have severe to extreme fire dangers. Fires will be fast-moving and difficult to control through most southeast, central and northern parts of WA today. More of the same on Wednesday. Hot conditions through Western Australia. It's climbing to 45, that darkest red. And the heat wave continues further east, but we won't have the strong winds, and as a result, the fire dangers are very high at best. But another day with widespread severe to extreme fire dangers in Western Australia. Now, finally, on Thursday, all that heat is drifting back south again. Now, initially, as that happens, the winds are quite light, but those maximums are climbing easily above 45. So we should see severe fire dangers for the west coast of South Australia, and then widespread very high fire dangers for other parts of the state. And we're expecting stronger winds, though, to develop on Friday as a change comes in. Note the isobars are closer together, and those temperatures are climbing over 45. So that could be a day where we see severe fire dangers for some parts of southeast Australia.